Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking on a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews, and Eva Levin enjoys by how its lovers, including Joanna Cassie, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. There are 40 podcast platforms heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music. Also heard in over 100 countries. Also on HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few networks coming soon. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, baseball gear makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's an actor-comedian from the Sacramento area known as Pej The Maniac, and he's also sang with Prima and Ava and served as the music director for Sacramento Theater, and he also composed a number of serial pieces with the String Quartet in Washington, D.C. He also has a new podcast featuring various guests called Host of pHumble Podcast, and he's also represented by 99, taught by David Thompson. We had him on the show, and this guy is just amazing as well. He's going to show off a little bit of stuff for us and why he's a maniac. So live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Sacramento, the actor-comedian from Sacramento, best known as Pej The Maniac. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the multi-talented Pejman Ahmadi, best known as Pej. Pej, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, man. What an intro. I appreciate it. I can put on my maniac hat at any point. So just let me know.
So you can just, so right now, it's just like, as long as you have to run and get it, you can just put it on like this, use imagination and feel free to do so. So you're basically an actor comedian from Sacramento known as Pej The Maniac. You sang with Prima, Ava, and also served as music director for the Sacramento Theater. And also you composed a serial piece with the Jack String Quartet in Washington, D.C. You have a new podcast featuring various guests called pHumble Podcast, and you also been represented by 99 featuring David Thompson. And you're here to talk about your podcast, some of your works, and everything else. And just you being a comedian, if you want to put on a little comedy show. Before we get into all that, Pej, tell us how you first got started.
Absolutely. So I've always loved comedy my entire life. I've always been the goofball in the family. To an annoying level sometimes. They usually and other comics they can empathize with that, because it was that's where we usually first get our first taste. I really grew up just when I moved to America at the age of 8, which, by the way, I was born in Iran, and till the age of 7 or 8, I was going to school over there, and it was an all boys school. And as soon as I realized that in America, the schools are mixed, there's boys and girls, I was like, first ticket out of Iran. I left. I had to get here, and no, I'm just kidding. But my parents, they weren't raised in the Muslim religion, which is the dominant religion in Iran. So due to that, there was some hardship. They both went through some hardship as far as sustaining their businesses and also being able to just live a free life in that country. So as a result, we decided to leave. In 94, we actually left Iran and we came and we ended up in America. We had 3 choices. My parents had signed up for 3 different countries for visa for refugee status. And it was Australia, Canada, and then the third choice was actually America, which at the time, the borders were actually very tight in America. Speaking about America, Bill Clinton was the president, if we all remember, at the time, and all of a sudden we get a call from the embassy saying, "Hey, America has opened its doors. You can go now, but you have to act quick." And my parents were like, "Absolutely, let's go." And and before you knew it, we were here, and I actually moved to Maryland, the state of Maryland, and that's when I really started to entrench myself into the comedy world. And for those who remember the show In Living Color.
I remember that. Yes, that's a classic. Drew Carey, the Wayans brothers, and all that. Yes.
Jim Carrey. Yeah, Jim Carrey, and he was actually one of my early influences as far as his physical prowess and how much he was able to give on each performance. Fireman Marshall was a great one. He was it was one of his famous characters. Jamie Foxx, though, more specifically. Multi-talented artist he is, and I started to really gravitate towards him. I just started to really see myself in Jamie Foxx. I'm not gloating about my talents, but I'm just saying that Jamie Foxx was a great musician, which was my first entrance into the entertainment industry. I was a vocalist singer. He was the singer. He was a funny man with physical and verbal comedy that was genius. I thought I had that to a degree. I was a goofball all the time. He could do drama. He could play dramatic roles, and he would kill it. I mean, one of his greatest works was playing Ray Charles, I remember that. That's where he won the Emmys or Oscars or whatever it is. Yes. Oh, that was fantastic. And he sounded like Ray Charles, actually. Absolutely. He was, he deserved that. I think he earned that and deserved that Oscar. It was a magnificent performance to recreate himself as Ray Charles. By the way, in the making of that film, he asked to have his eyes taped shut so that he couldn't see, just to really feel what it felt like to be Ray Charles, which is to me like, that is the measure he, kept himself at. So anyway, he was very influential to me from a young age, still is today. And the fact that he could do that role and then be a comedic genius, also doing stand up, which I also do. And also being a great musician, he's had many number one hits on radio. But yeah, so those two I would say were my childhood heroes growing up: Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx. Robin Williams also, rest in peace. And then the older I got, man, I never pursued comedy as a career, as a professional career. I was really entrenched into music, which we can get into, and I still love music. But as far as comedy, I was 33 years old 3 years ago. I just woke up one morning and I was like, I need to do that. That it just made it. I can't explain it, but it was so clear. I'm sure you've had those moments when you wake up and you have absolute clarity with what you need to do with your life.
Mm-hmm. We've had this before. It's like a precise moment that influenced you, or you had a vision and everything. You keep going back to bed. Something wakes you up. I understand that. Yes. So
yeah, exactly. And that's what happened. And at that, since that morning, I believe it was a Thursday morning. I woke up. I was like, I gotta be funny, like I love doing with the family. I can do that as a professional. And that was the beginning of my comedy career as far as stand-up is concerned. I started, I always had the strength in acting and theater work because I grew up in music and musicals and that kind of pulls from, not just music skills, but you need acting skills. So it was a great way for me to develop both of those sides. But now the comedy career, as far as stand-up, was more new for me. So that was something I've been working at. And as of last December, I did my first stand-up. And I haven't stopped since. And I'm actually going tonight. There's a bunch of open mics here in Sacramento area, which I love to go to. And I've entrenched myself in that comedy community. And I'm learning every day, which is the biggest win for me. The journey of getting myself to where I want to be. And Coach Thompson has been teaching me so much, right? Coach David Thompson, which we both know. He's a great, he's an actor himself. He's a painter. He drew that was his first entrance into art. But yeah, I've been learning every day, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop learning because I think that's the point.
That's amazing too. And who are some other favorite stand-ups growing up?
Growing up, stand-up comedians. I really liked Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg was a great influence to me as well, just because of the way he would do 25 unrelated jokes. But,
oh wow!
He was able to just do observation at a very high level. I thought he was great. Also gone too soon. One of my current comedians that I really look up to is Sebastian Maniscalco. He's born in Chicago. He's an Italian, Sicilian comic. And his storytelling, and that's what I do a lot of on stage. I do a lot of storytelling, and I'm very animated. But to really, like, when I see Sebastian Maniscalco on stage, it really, it makes sense to me, like, at every point of his act. So I would tell you, like, those two come to my head right now. Of course, there's millions. Robin Williams is great at his animation on stage. And more so the type of people they were, off stage. That was really, what really influenced me. So, yeah, those are the guys.
How so they influence you backstage? You mentioned that.
Yeah, off stage they would. The type of human beings they were, and I mean, Robin Williams to me. I mean, he's been in front of Congress talking about helping the homeless. He's always thinking of giving back, right? He was always he never got caught up in the fame. And I think that's a huge lesson for me. Like, he never lost his humanity. He was always in touch with giving love, giving, he was passionate about helping others. And I think that's something I hope I can be even close to Robin as far as, the type of human being he was. And he was always sweet to everybody. I've never heard one story of Robin Williams being a jerk to anyone. So, and that goes a long way, And that's why he was loved by so many people. Chris Farley was another one like that, you know.
Mm-hmm. I remember him. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're great influences on me, but, I would honestly tell you in the overarching umbrella of just entertainment, my absolute biggest influence, that got me into to take entertainment seriously from my music days was Freddie Mercury.
Oh yes, good old Freddie from Queen. I remember listening to him when he was with Queen, came out in '73. I said this guy was something special.
Absolutely. And again, you know, he was more than just an artist. I feel he had so much more to him. I feel like he died very young, of course, to the AIDS pandemic that took over the nation in the 80s, or the world, I should say. But I feel like he had 150 years of knowledge and wisdom within him, you know, and he was just so vibrant. And I just connected with him from the beginning, you know. Queen, it really got me into rock and roll. I really, and then that's when I got into the band Prima that you mentioned. And, you know, we toured in the 2008 through 2010 out here in Sacramento area. And, I think my favorite thing about Prima was the fact that, all five of us were from different backgrounds.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You know, I was the Persian kid, lead singer. And then we had, Tyler, who was our rhythm guitarist and singer too. So he had songs he would lead on. Our lead guitarist was half Japanese, half Irish. Our bass player was Mexican. Our drummer was African American. And it was just a beautiful mesh, of these, diverse group of people. And I love them all dearly. We went on hiatus, obviously. We all got married. That was one of our challenges.
The downfall in the business.
That's right. So, you know, but it was cool while it lasted. I'll never, you know, forget that. It was a really good time. I was young. I was in my early 20s. But it was amazing, you know, and then I finished college at UC Davis, and my last quarter was, as you said, in Washington, DC. And that's when I composed my serial piece for the Jack String Quartet. And that was an experience too. 3 months, by the way, writing a string quartet for the first time and only having 3 months to do it is like telling me to run a mile in 30 seconds.
Wow, yeah. That is something. You know, let's talk about your Jack String Quartet experience, along with more on Prima, Ava, and more, and being a music director at Sacramento Theater. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon, paperback, and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosensia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms heard in over 100 countries, including HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok today. For great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosensia for great books, merchandise, and more. I'll support The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and themikewagnershow.com. Make sure you do so today. You're here with the amazing actor, comedian, and also musical genius from Sacramento, best known as Pej The Maniac. Pejman Ahmadi here on the Mike Wagner Show, best known as Pej. And we talked about his comedy career, which is on the verge of taking off, and get a bit more into that. And you also sang with Prima as well, too, and Ava, and you served as music director with the Sacramento Theater, and being composing serial piece with the Jack String Quartet. So what was that? Was that considered like the final thesis or like a final exam, prior to graduating from UC Davis? So was that presented, or was it more of a choice given to you?
No, it was. I majored, my bachelor was in music, focusing on theory. And one of the requirements was to compose a piece. And it was a study abroad program. It's called the UC-DC program in Washington, DC. And, our professor was from UC San Diego. And he was a great, music director himself. And, he gave us 3 months. He said, we're writing, pieces for the string quartet. It didn't have to be a serial piece. I decided to do a serial piece. Basically, day in and day out, I was writing and editing, learning a software, Sibelius, which is what we use to compose the pieces, and constant review. It was definitely, I want to say it was a sprint, because any composer can tell you that to really write a piece that is half decent or half presentable, you need more than 3 months. But we had 3 months, and it was a project, and it was, I made the most of it. And the fact that the amazing, multi-talented string quartet, the Jack String Quartet, who are based out of New York, were sweet enough and kind enough to play our pieces was such an honor. But yeah, my piece was called Play on Words.
Play on Words. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was called Play on Words, and it was a poem that I had written, and I literally created a formula to convert the alphabet of that poem into musical notes. And so what ended up happening is I had to assign specific note values and also pitch values to each letter, and what came out of it. It actually ended up sounding pretty good, if I could say so myself, as far as it making sense. It was called a serial piece, and for those who don't know, serial pieces don't make sense to the naked ear at first. It's not, for lack of a better term, it's not comparable to like pop music that is very obvious in sections. Mm-hmm. It was not, there was not an intro. It doesn't have like an intro, a verse, a chorus, a verse, a bridge. It's not set up like that. The patterns are more, serial based. It's more on a mathematical equation, which basically is what I created to compose this piece. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. They performed my piece, and there's a recording, I believe, in the UC Davis archives somewhere.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So that was 2012, and actually I got into teaching music right out of that. I started teaching music right after I graduated, and I actually stayed in the Washington D.C. area for about a year and a half. Until I brought that teaching experience back to California in Sacramento. And I continued teaching since then up until now. I still teach. That's my day job, if you call it, which is a great job to have. I can't complain because, it's still something I love to do. Obviously, comedy and acting is my now and future, and I'm building that. But yeah, in a perfect world, I want to combine the three,
You mean a comedy routine while you're teaching? That'd be something.
Well, meaning like combining music with my comedy and acting, because like another comic that's also a musician that I look up to is Adam Sandler.
Oh, yes. One of my favorites. Yes. Happy Gilmore. That's a classic.
Absolutely. But, if you've seen his stand-up routines, he's usually playing music. He has a lot of comedy albums where he's singing, playing, and his lyrics are comical. He's got the 8 Days of Hanukkah song, which is very popular. But anyway, it's I'd love to. And there are many, many artists. One of my friends, actually, J.R. de Guzman, he's starting to really get big now, and he's touring the States with his comedy. And he was in my class, one of my classes at UC Davis. We were in gospel choir together. And what's funny is I didn't know he had such a great comedy touch until I just rediscovered him in the comedy world. And I'm like, wow. And he's doing great. He's on Netflix now as well, and he's doing really well, and I'm happy for him. But yeah, he has the guitar and he's always playing. And he's doing great. And I wish him the best. But I haven't introduced my musical skills onto my comedy work yet. I'm really focusing on really getting a comfortable lane in my comedy style. So once I get that down, then I can start bringing it in.
And you've also been the music director at Sacramento Theater as well, too. And tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. I was working with Sacramento Theater Company in 2016 to 2018, I believe, right before the pandemic hit. I was directing some musicals for children in elementary school and middle school. I directed some Disney productions, Beauty and the Beast on Broadway for juniors, and then also Lion King for juniors. And that was a fun experience. I since, aside from my private one-on-one lessons that I teach daily here, I became the musical director at a private school also since then. And I've been working with them. And that school is here in Sacramento. And it's a great experience. They're a lovely staff, and they're very flexible with me because they know I wear a lot of hats. So, but I love it, man. It's I've kind of created this world for myself, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way because my parents, took a big risk leaving Iran for a chance for their two kids, my sister and I, to have a chance at our goals and our dreams and the education. I got my education with UC Davis, but now I'm able to pursue these dreams because my parents were musicians too, but they never really were able to pursue that given the circumstances. So I see it as me taking what they gave me genetically and taking it to the distance, and wherever that takes me because I love the journey. One of my heroes is Kobe Bryant, and he always says the dream is in the journey, not the destination. And that's a huge lesson that I keep with me every day.
Mm-hmm. And that certainly is true as well, too. You also have a podcast that you also got going as well, and we'll talk about that in just 1 minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon, paperback, and ebook. We'll be back with the multi-talented actor, comedian, and musical genius, Pejman Ahmadi, best known as Pej The Maniac, after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with Pejman Ahmadi, best known as Pej The Maniac, here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talked about some of his acting chops, comedian chops, and also, some music as well, too. And you also host a podcast called the pHumble Podcast. That's pHumble. A little bit of play on words, and tell us more about that one.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was actually the inception of what I said earlier at 33, when I needed to pursue comedy and pursue acting as my career until I retire from all types of work. But yeah, I wanted a podcast. I had an idea for it. The name pHumble actually came to me just like other creators and creative people. It came to me in the middle of the night as I was dead asleep, and I woke up at like 3 a.m. I'm like, wait a minute. I love sports. I wanted to be something that is a play on that, but also it incorporates music. There's a song out called pHumble. Be humble. It's and I'm always working on staying grounded as much as possible. And in a crazy way, I was like, well, fumble is a no in football. You don't want to,
unless you're playing for the Detroit Lions or Cincinnati Bengals. I shouldn't say the Bengals. They almost won Super Bowl, but the Lions are some of the other bad teams. That sounds like common to them.
100%. I'm a Washington fan, which we're called the Commanders now for some reason, but it's formerly known as the Redskins, and they changed their name, rightfully so. But I know about bad teams, is what I'm trying to say. So yes, fumbles. I've seen a lot of them with being a fan of that team, and they fumble not only on the field but off the field as well. Yeah, so I was like, fumble, that's cool. Let me respell that with incorporating my name. So what I did was like, okay, well, my name is Pej. Why don't I lowercase that P to show humility? And then I capitalize the H. And so that's why it reads fumble with a capital H. And the P is lowercase.
Oh, I see. So it's just like a pH balance. That's how I see it. It's almost like a pH balance. Yes, I think I'm getting it now.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. So pHumble Podcast. And of course, I had one of my close friends on for episode 1, which was back in February of 21. And I haven't stopped since. And I've had a lot of mentors talk to me about, how to edit it and improve it. And I loved it. And I don't plan on stopping it. And it's based on purity. It's based on learning. It's based on togetherness and bringing in all walks of life. And of course, comedic relief here and there. Because, I've had all walks of life literally on this podcast. I've had, people who've been incarcerated, who've been released from prison, and they share their experience on the episode. I've had people who were on suicide watch have come on and talked about their experience surviving that. People who had addiction issues, people who are just actors, people who are comics, people who are just entrepreneurs. There's no limit. And of course, females, males, anybody is welcome on my show. If I'm interested in learning, more importantly, if I see that there's an audience that can learn from their experience, I'd love to have them on.
That sounds really interesting. Almost like a chip off of, I've heard some of those too. That's really nice. Almost like a variety show in a sense.
Sure. Yeah. It's like my own daytime podcast show that I came up with. And the best thing about it is it really improves my hosting skills, which translates onto my other elements of my career. So
that's really interesting. You're doing a great job of it, by the way, Pej. And where can we find your podcast and all your works at?
Absolutely. My pHumble Podcast, look it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's also anchor.fm/pHumble Podcast. Again, that's pHumble podcast, one word. My socials also link to all of that, and it's Pej The Maniac on all social media: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm on Fanbase, Snapchat even, and yeah, you can find pHumble Podcast social media as well on all of those same social medias: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Of course, and of course I have video on YouTube of the podcast, as well as Spotify. So those are the two places you can view the episodes, and you can listen to the episode on all other podcast platforms. So
we certainly check that out. And we're on to get with the amazing Pej The Maniac, Pej Ahmadi here on the Mike Wagner Show. And, just a couple more things. We'd love to have you back as we continue to watch your career grow and everything else. Like to see you do more stand-up comedy and, get on some of the networks as well, too. And have you thought about America's Got Talent or American Idol or anything like that? America's Got Talent's always looking for comedians.
That's true. One of the Sacramento comics, actually, Mikey Winfield, is on America's Got Talent right now, and I'm lucky enough to know him. I have thought about it. I from my musical side, I was on I tried out for The Voice twice, and but I'm working my way on to potentially getting on to those shows. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, as far as the business side of all of these ventures that I'm pursuing. And I love to put Sacramento on the map even more as far as the comedy scene is concerned. There were so many talented comedians that come from Sacramento. And my goal, my immediate goal right now is to put on my own show for a comedy show with a few friends from the comedy world here. And so stay tuned for that, because I will be advertising that on my channels. Man, America's Got Talent is great. It's a great way to get our names out there. I'm working on building enough material to have a 1 hour special as far as my comedy work. So that's in the works. I'm about 25 minutes. I got solid material for 25 minutes of consistent, good jokes that I've had a good response to, luckily. So
that sounds amazing, too. We're looking forward to it as well, too. And what else can we expect in 2022 and beyond, Pej?
2022, I'm looking to grow my channels. I do more. I'm working on collaborative work with other comedians and actors who are interested in sketch and satire comedy. I've already worked with a few. One is Brace Nettles. The other one is Stephanie Ross. They're two comedians out here. I've had Kendrick Williams, another comic from this area, and Nelson Powell. All hilarious comics that have featured on my channels as far as my sketch comedy. Again, it's Pej The Maniac on TikTok and Instagram fan base, and they're all on YouTube as well, so you can find those videos on there. And I'm looking to grow that audience. So follow me, please. Whoever's listening to this show, give me a follow. It'll help me a lot. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Trying to get to a good number of followers and subscribers by the end of 2022. And hopefully, and I'm working at it, land my first role in a show or a film from my auditions from my acting side as well. So
certainly looking forward to it. It sounds like you got a great start, Pej. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
Biggest influence, honestly, it has to be Freddie Mercury. I keep going back to him because he really gave me the freedom to pursue this, being a Persian artist like he was, and entering the Western countries and showing that being a kid from the Middle East. Although he was, raised in Zanzibar, which is now known as Tanzania, but he was ancestrally, he was Persian, but he went to England and London, and I came here to America. So I would always say Freddie Mercury really showed me that anything is possible. And the only thing stopping us is ourselves. So I've been really working on just breaking all those walls down.
And that's very true. You're doing a great job of it. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice is don't overthink any move you want to make. You overthink it and you will stop yourself from doing it. I guarantee it, because I've done it. So don't overthink. As soon as you feel good about a project or a creative outlet, just do it. Just start. The first step is just start. And honestly, my first step sometimes is just get up and go walk outside, and it helps my mind clear. And then I build on it, write things down, create a vision board, These are great ways. In order to stand out, you have to do things that most aren't willing to do. And that is put pen to paper, or with technology today, you can just turn on your phone and record your ideas. It's a great way to get it out there, and go in the communities. There's easy ways to find the communities you're interested in, and see how immediately it motivates you to continue building on that.
That's really interesting. I like that idea of not overthinking. So don't you do it, people, either. Okay. So we're here with Pej The Maniac, Pejman Ahmadi, here on the Mike Wagner Show, actor, comedian, and music extraordinaire from Sacramento. Pej, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Glad to have you back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact, or can people check out your works and check out your podcast?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. First of all, Mike Wagner, I love your show. I love the format. I'm taking notes as I'm a guest. I'm taking notes for my own podcast. It's a great way, great idea with how you pace everything. Very good. And it was an honor to be on here. You can find me. My link tree is on my on my social medias, but it's link tree / Pej The Maniac. PEJTHEMANIAC.
We will certainly check that out. Once again, Pej, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Glad to have you back. We wish you all the best. And Pej, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so much, Mike. And I look forward to being back. And I'd love to have you on pHumble Podcast. So we'll be in touch.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionsea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen Zia of Missing, and powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms, and of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.